Okay, today we're doing a review of the Shimoda Action X30 V2 camera backpack. This is kind of a hybrid backpack made for photographers and videographers who like to get way out into the backcountry. So it's a very capable backpack in the backcountry, but it also protects your camera gear pretty well. I mainly got this backpack for splitboarding. So I do a lot of filming and splitboarding at the same time, and those are both very demanding activities. This is a helmet carry system. It has 4 attachment points, and you usually just unclip one. You can slip your helmet in here real quickly. It has 2 side straps on either end that you can attach skis to. And these are both pretty durable and sturdy clips that are made for carrying some weight, like heavy skis. The material on this pack is water resistant. Nothing is ever really waterproof, but this will keep out some light rain, and I have tested it in those conditions. The main reason that I went with this backpack is the multiple access points for your camera. So there's 3 ways that you can get at your camera with this backpack. The main compartment, the entire back opens up like that, and then you've got full access to everything in your camera pod in there. Very quick and durable feeling zippers, which I really like, because other packs that I've had, their zippers fall apart after a while, but this zipper feels like it's going to last. And then there are 2 side access pouches, depending on which side you prefer. You can open up the side and access your camera. I have it set up so it's on the right side. If you want to, you can do the same thing on the left side. I just don't have it set up. Excuse our dogs for interrupting the video. I'm sure it'll continue to happen. Okay, and now I'm going to demonstrate taking the camera out of the side pouch. This is like the most important feature, I think, on this backpack. There are other backpacks that have side access, but I've had a hard time really finding a system that works for me or that I like. But this one works pretty good. So you just need to find the zipper up top, slide it all the way open, and then the camera comes right out. So as you can see, that took like 3 seconds maybe, and speed is absolutely essential. Being in the backcountry, you never know when you're going to need to get your camera out, when you might have an interesting wildlife encounter or something like that. So you want to be able to get at it quickly. And it's very easy to put back away too. And then once the camera's in there, then you know it's safe and totally protected. It also has adjustable torso height, which is another feature that I really appreciate, because other camera backpacks that I've had didn't have that. So you can adjust these shoulder straps. Right now it's on large, but you got medium and small here too. So what that does is that changes the height that it sits on your backpack. And when you have light loads, that's not very important, but when you have heavy loads, you want the pack to be sitting just right. And the important thing is for the bottom of the pack to be sitting on the small of your back right here. So that way this hip belt can take off a lot of the load off of your shoulders. If it isn't sitting just right, this hip belt is going to be too high or too low, and it's not going to take the weight off your shoulders very well. It also has this expandable roll top. It can be fully expanded, and you can close it, and it can be this tall, so you can like really put a lot of stuff in here. But if you don't have a lot of stuff in here, then you can keep rolling it down and cinch it down pretty small. You've got 2 pockets on the sides, and these can be used for just about anything. I mostly use them for water bottles and tripods. One thing that's kind of cool about these pockets is that if you don't want them, you can just stuff them away, and then you get a more streamlined backpack. I usually put my tripod on one side, and then you use this strap to secure the tripod, And even though it looks kind of loose in here, it's actually very secure, and I've never had any issues with this falling out. You can also cinch it down if you'd like. But this is a very quick and easy way to access your tripod. The backpack also has another pocket on the back here. When I'm out splitboarding, usually my shovel and probe, my avalanche saw, and some extra gear like that goes in here. And it has a few small pockets so you can store some small things like filters or memory cards. I have some wax in here for my skins, so all your little items can go in here. This pack also comes with really thick shoulder straps. I've never had a backpack with straps like this, but I really like them actually. So because these straps are so thick, they kind of help distribute the weight across your chest a little bit better, and that allows room for these big pockets too. So 2 different types of pockets. This is a good one for your phone. I usually keep my phone in here. And then this one has a little bit more space, and I keep things like sunscreen. I have a slope meter for avalanche danger. So this will tell me how steep the slope is and if I'm in an avalanche terrain or not. But you can keep all kinds of little things in here. This belt is also, or this hip belt is actually removable too. These shoulder straps can also be removed. So it's kind of a nice thing if you're traveling on an airplane or something like that. You can remove all these dangly things, so then you have a nice streamlined backpack. It has a side carrying handle, so you can kind of treat this more like a briefcase or a duffel bag. So very versatile. Opening up the back pouch, comes with a laptop sleeve in here. A lot of backpacks come with these. It's not something I use that much, but definitely handy if you need it. And now we'll get into the core system, they call it. So these backpacks are designed to be modular, and you can kind of customize them for your use. So Shimoda makes different sized core units, they call them. The core unit is this square part that holds all your camera gear. And this can just come right out. So this is kind of a tough material. Does a good job of protecting your gear. And on one side, it has the side opening, so that's how you can do the side access for your camera. And you can Velcro in these dividers. I like to keep it nice and simple, so I just have 2 compartments really. My main camera goes in this compartment, and that's the only thing in there. So when I open up the side pouch, I can just grab my camera and I know that nothing else is going to fall out. And then I like to keep my microphone and drone set up in the other compartment. So I have to open up the back pouch to get at this. This is a small mirrorless core. They make different sizes. I went with the small one because I wanted to leave enough room in the top of the backpack for all my other gear, clothes and food and any other gear that I might need while I'm out in the backcountry. So that way I'm kind of forced to keep my camera setup as minimal as possible, but it's all in one safe place. So you can get bigger cores if you want, and then you can store more camera gear in this compartment, but then that takes away from your top compartment a little bit as far as what you can store up top. So altogether, this backpack costs about $300, and then you have to buy the core units separately, which I didn't realize at first. That was a little bit of a disappointment. They come in kits, but I didn't know that. So then I had to buy the core unit, and that cost about 70 bucks, depending on which one you get. Now I'm going to get into some of the little kind of subtle details that I've noticed about this pack that I like, and then I'll get into some of the things that I don't like, but we'll start with the good stuff. So I really like these pockets that fold out. Usually I just leave it folded out because it doesn't really bother me if it's just hanging loose. Usually on a lot of backpacks you kind of have to choose between one thing or the other, but this can kind of work both ways. So if you have a water bottle in this pocket, normally you wouldn't be able to access your camera out of this side pocket, but I've noticed that even when I have a water bottle in here, it's a little bit trickier, but I can still fold this open and get my camera out. So this will be a good test because I haven't tried it with a tall water bottle like this before. This one's bigger than I normally carry. But so water bottle in the pocket, also very easy to access and grab with one hand. And then I can still unzip the zipper and get my camera out. So even with a water bottle on the side, you can still access your camera. Another thing I've noticed, they have kind of a unique buckle system. This isn't like your typical buckle that you see on a lot of hip belts. And I think the reason that it's designed this way is because even in the winter when this is all packed full of snow and ice and stuff, you can still just push this in here and all the ice just gets pushed out, which I've noticed with buckles that are kind of this style, they can tend to get snow packed in here, and the harder you push the buckle in, actually the more it packs the snow in, and kind of makes it harder to buckle. So I like this design that they use for the buckle. Just small details that make things a little bit easier. So the side straps that they use, this one's rubber, and the reason they do that is because it's more resistant to abrasions. So when you're carrying skis and stuff like that, the sharp edges on skis can kind of cut up your straps. So another small detail that they made, but that's really important. I do wish, however, that they made this one rubber too. I'm not sure why this one is not rubber, because at least with my split board, the binding goes right here and it kind of clamps over this strap. So this strap will get worn eventually. It's already starting to fray a little bit here. So if this was rubber, that would be better. This pack also has an internal frame. It's a pretty minimalistic frame. It's just a metal bar, kind of a U-bar that goes around like this. Because of that frame and because of the way these straps are made, they're very broad and they distribute the weight really well. So I can load this thing up a lot. Like I could probably have 40 pounds in here and it's still comfortable to carry, which is something I could not say for past camera backpacks. So they definitely designed this with like backcountry expeditions in mind, and then they also made it capable for carrying cameras. I feel like a lot of camera backpacks are made the other way around. They think camera first and then they throw in a little bit of bells and whistles that kind of help it look like a backcountry backpack. I really like the material that it's made out of. It feels durable. It feels like it's going to last a long time. The zippers feel durable. That's always been a point of failure on other packs. I feel like I can trust this material and I don't have to like be very gentle with this backpack, and that's what I bought it for, because I want to take this in places where things are rough and I don't need to worry about my gear. I really like that it's got a simple design to it. A lot of other backpacks, they tend to overcomplicate things and they try to have like so many features packed into one thing, and you end up with just a whole bunch of extra weight and complications and more points that could fail. So it seems like they took effort to make this as capable as possible, but then also reducing the number of bells and whistles and everything so it's simple and reliable, and they didn't put anything on here that you don't need. So now we'll get into some of the improvements that I would like to see. Nothing's perfect, so I have found a few things that I would like to see a little bit better. Like I mentioned, I think this top strap should also be rubber, like this bottom strap is. One issue that I haven't seen any camera backpack address, and I don't know if it's possible, but I'd like to see somebody figure out this problem. Seems like a lot of backpacks are designed for photographers but not videographers, because videographers like to have a microphone on their camera, and it would be really nice if I could leave this microphone on and take it in and out of the backpack quickly. But as it is right now, there's really no way that I can do that. So if I want to get decent audio, then I need to take the backpack off, open up the back, and get at my mic. So I'm not sure if there is a way to do that, but if there is, that would be really convenient so that I could leave the mic on top of the camera all the time. Another thing I've noticed, this is getting kind of nitpicky now, but sometimes When I have the backpack on and I'm feeling for the zipper, sometimes I'll grab this zipper thinking that it's the camera opening zipper. So that can be kind of annoying. It would be kind of nice if these had like a different feeling to them. So maybe a different type of attachment on this zipper so that I know when I grab this one that it's the right zipper to open up and get my camera. One of the things that I don't like about this pocket is that it's very thin. You can't put a lot of stuff in here because it doesn't like come out very far. And the zippers only go down to here. I don't see any reason why the zippers couldn't go all the way down, and then this whole flap could fold down and then you'd be able to access stuff easier. And I would also like to see this pouch kind of more expandable so you could put more stuff in here, because right now only very thin things can get in here. It's not a great place to store like extra jackets or stuff like that. And I think that covers all the little nitpicky things that I don't quite like about it, but overall I really like this backpack. I think it's almost exactly what I was looking for. So thanks for watching this review. Hopefully it'll help you decide whether you'd like this backpack or not. We try to make our reviews based on real world experience. This is based on really using this stuff. And we find the points where they fail and where they hold up. For the next video, we're going to compare this backpack to another camera backpack. My wife Amy and other half of Wilderness Mindset just got a new camera backpack herself. This is the PGY Tech Focux backpack, right? F-O-C-U-X. They didn't make it easy to pronounce. As you can see, it's a bigger backpack. It can carry a lot more, but similar style. It's a backcountry style backpack made for hiking in the backcountry with your camera gear. So we'll compare these two versions and talk about pros and cons for each one.